ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Om Suktam 116. ऋषि कक्षीवान् दैर्घतमसः औषिज देवदाशिनौ छन्दस्तुष्टुः. This is the first suktam from sage Kashrivan, another famous sage on Ashwinau, who are to be taken as Paramatma Jivatma twin. Hence, many of the ruks in this suktam can be interpreted in physical sense, adhidevic sense, or spiritually. 116.1 Nasatyabhyam Barhiriva. I prepare these hymns like the chariot driven by the absolutely truthful Ashwins, commanders of the army, who carry gift articles to distant places, or like a loving mother by arranging things for the child, which is a source of joy, or like water shatters on the earth, or like wind scattering the cloud. Seer of the Sukta wants to prepare this Sukta effortlessly, like rainwater falling on the earth, etc. Ashwin's vehicle is said to be drops of Atmiya Pavamana Soma, carrying quanta of spiritual energy or moving witnessing self. 116.2 Vidupatmabhi, O destroyer of foes and absolutely truthful Ashwins, the way you accomplish your tasks, either by flying with force and moving quickly from place to place, or by the encouragement of enlightened souls, in the same way your dhi or desire conquer thousands in Yama's battle for gaining spoils for him. Entry of Ashwins, Paramatma Jivatma 10, into a material body keeps it alive and active, but their desire to get out of the bodies results in the death of innumerable living creatures all the time. Tugroha Bhujyum 116.3 O Ashwins, a destroyer of enemies, while going on a voyage for a ship, leaves a wealthy person in the sea, like a dying man living off his riches. You saved him with your own ship, which makes use of water and air, and which is capable of moving in the atmosphere. Implied meaning of the ruk is as follows. During the life's journey, Jivatma leaves a hambhava of a particular man in a sea of miseries. Ashwins rescue him from miseries by giving him spiritual knowledge, which needs air and water for its survival. Trisra Kshapa 116.4 O absolutely truthful Ashwins, you move a wealthy man above the sea and across the damp sandy shore without getting wet by 3 ships, capable of traveling at great speeds on 3 regions, land, water and atmosphere, having innumerable wheels or feet and 6 engines or horses within 3 days and 3 nights. three shifts correspond to the three bodies: gross body, moving in the physical world; the subtle body, moving in its own world; and the causal body is used for traveling in the causal world. Six engines that carry Ahambhava are five sensory organs and the mind. Ashwins save a person in three stages. One day and night correspond to crossing over one stage. 1.116.4 Anarambhane. 1.116.5 Anarambhane. O Ashwins, above the ocean in the atmosphere, where there is no hold for the hands and none can stand, you travel by building ships, airships or aircraft propelled by many engines. Ascending this abode for your enjoyment, may you exhibit your valor and greatness. Ashwins move from one living creature's body to another in an imaginary vehicle along an imaginary path in the physical space, which is also imaginary. Universal Paramatma Jivatma twin has thousands of individual Paramatma Jivatma twins, each twin activating one body which serves as its temporary abode. A drop of spiritual soma carries a quantum of spiritual energy, or a Paramatma Jivatma Ashwin. Yam Ashwina Dadathu. 116.6 O Ashwins, you gave for a not to be killed trader a white horse or power plant. This is a constant comfort to us. Making use of this great and admirable gift of yours, men can travel in a vehicle with ease and become rich. This power plant is always praiseworthy and is attached to us. White horse implies source of spiritual energy of Atma. Vehicle is the body of a human being which serves as a carrier of Ashwins. That spiritual quantum of energy is definitely praiseworthy and is attached to each body. Yuvam Narastuvate. This is the next trick, 116.7. O leaders of men, you give a strong praiser who is an obedient student and seeker of truth various kinds of knowledge and power of action. From the horse-like power plant, from the place of sprinkling of water or essence, which looks like the hoof of a horse, you fill hundreds of jars of the distilled essence. Ashwins reveal the abode of the self to the seer, which is thought of as the source of spiritual energy. Rays of spiritual light energy are mixed with the flowing property of water to obtain infinite individual Jivatmas. Distilled essence is the moving Paramatma Jivatma combination which goes into infinite jars or bodies of living creatures. This is similar to the flowing essence of Atma Soma conceptually. 116.8 Himena Agnim. O Ashwins, you quench the blazing fire with cold water and remove darkness with daylight. Please give us strength by feeding us nourishing food. You lift a man who has fallen into a sad state enjoying worldly pleasures and restore him to every kind of welfare by destroying darkness of ignorance. Ashwins brought light of knowledge to the seer of the Sutta as stated more explicitly in the second part of the Rig. 116.9 Paramatam Nasatya. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, you made a curved well or canal close to the seat of a great praiser who is a sincere admirer of the wise as he was dying of thirst. In that way you made arrangement for the flow of water for quenching his thirst and for abundant wealth for the fulfillment of his legitimate desires. Superficial meaning of the Rig may not need any additional explanation. Thirst is for spiritual knowledge and desire for arriving at the truth. 116.10 Jujurusho Nasatyoda. O abundantly truthful Ashwins, you remove the cover of miseries for a charitable person like one removing the armor from a renegade. You arrange for the education of young virgins from an aged and experienced teacher and for the marriage of each one of them. O accomplishers of wonderful deeds, may you augment the lifespan of a man of renunciation. These rigs may not need much of explanations. 116.11 Tatvamara. O leaders of men, absolutely truthful Ashwins, you work as the bringer of welfare. You are obviously desirable, is glorious and is indeed admirable. Like a treasure, this brings out knowledge for acquiring respectable progeny and is fit for adoration. Activating or enlivening an inert body is the work of Ashwins, which is definitely glorious, admirable, as mentioned in the Rig. Tatvamara Sanaye. 116.12 O leaders of men, acquiring knowledge from you, I, the son of a man of non-violent nature, who approaches possessors of knowledge and reveal your mighty deed as lightning manifests rain. I also reveal who taught me this sweet knowledge and your sublime deed, which is like a head on the body. 116.13 O absolutely truthful, enjoyers of many bodies, Ashwins, a knowledgeable person takes the hand of a virtuous virgin who is the cause of development of various faculties for achieving happiness. Being invoked repeatedly like a good teacher, you impart that knowledge which enables one who is a seeker of knowledge to earn much gold and other kinds of wealth. The seeker of knowledge referred to here should be seer of the Sutta himself. We go to the next Rig, 116.14 Asno Vulgasya. O enjoyers of many bodies, absolutely truthful leaders of man, Ashwins, you liberate all men from miseries in their life's battle, like a quail being freed from the mouth of a wolf. Also, you may make a man wise and kind-hearted for announcing or proclaiming true knowledge to all. Paramatma Jivatma, twin, enjoy many bodies, one after another successively. Remaining part of the Rik may not need elaboration. Charitram hi 116.15. O Ashwins, in a battle during the night, the mischief of battalions of enemies was cut off by you at once, like cutting off the wing of a bird. For the protection of beneficial wealth, you give an army or armor as strong as iron, and also for carrying on a policy or course that protects the people. Beneficial wealth could be self-knowledge, which is protected by an army of enlightened souls. Shatam Meshan Vrikye 116.16. The father-like king makes the trainer or horse who cuts into pieces hundreds of sheep and gives them to a female thief to suffer like a blind man. O absolutely truthful, destroyer of diseases or physicians, Ashwins, you give spiritual eyes to a person who is an arrogant debauchee, so that he may see and follow the righteous path. Ignorant debauchee is talked about in the first part of the Rik. Ashwins may easily open the internal eye of even such a person. 116.17. Avam Ratham Duhita. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, may you ascend your victorious chariot made of wood and pulled by swift and strong horses or power plants or engines, and which is shining like Usha, daughter of the sun. All enlightened souls heartily applaud you who are associated with glorious prosperity and happiness. 116.8. Yedayadam Divodasaya. O Ashwins, you give to a man who is the giver of justice and knowledge, and who is bearing speed and strength, wealth such as a house, food, etc., and also your helpful chariot with horses yoked to it, which is propoise-like, and which is showerer of victory. Propoise is a kind of small whale. Human heart may be considered as a chariot of Ashwins. It may resemble a porpoise. 116.9. Raim Sukshatram. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, you are bearers of good wealth and strength, good progeny, good valiant heroes, long life and food, which can withstand the foe's army heroically. You discharge your duties properly, following regular timetable, dividing the day into 3 parts, morning, afternoon and night. 116.20. Parivishtam Yahusham. Absolutely truthful Ashwins, you maintain your kingdom with your chariot that destroys enemies easily, like the undecaying sun and moon maintain the clouds at night. through easy path within the atmosphere. Having attained that desirable state, you drive away the enemies encircling your kingdom. In the kingdom of Ashwins, there can be no enemies for them. They are supreme in their kingdom. Egasya Vasto Ravatam 116.21. O mighty Ashwins, accompanied by Indra, you protect one who goes to fight his adversaries in daytime. Taking control of your kingdom, you overcome all envious wicked persons who cause suffering to others, however far famed they may be, for gaining abundant wealth. Indra provides the material bodies for the Atma twin Ashwins. Ashwins drive away evil thoughts from the minds of a seeker of abundant wealth, namely self-knowledge. 116.22. Sarasya Chid. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, with your power, making arrangements through a good man coming from a righteous person, who is a respecter of other righteous persons, you protect people from an evildoer who is coming from a violent man. For a sound sleeper and destroyer of enemies, you multiply land, water, and cows for distribution among the needy. During the sound sleep, the mind is in a state of oneness. He has no enemies in that state. Here, evildoer could be ahambhava, violent man, ignorance, and good man, is a respecter of enlightened souls. 116.23. Avasyate stuvate. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, with your wisdom, you give to a man who is a truth seeker, who desires protection from you, who is devoted to you, who is of upright character, who is of attractive nature, who is kind to all. To him, that knowledge which is to be attained by learned person, so that the man may see the truth clearly, like a lost animal is restored to its owner. This knowledge stands for self-knowledge. To a truth seeker who is meditating on Ashwins, they reveal self-knowledge, thus restoring the quanta of spiritual energy back to this universal self, Paramatma. Dasharatri 116.24. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, you lift up an admirer and devotee of yours, like two engineers take out a boat or ship from the sea, which was in water for 10 nights and 9 days in an auspicious battle. That is like Soma oblations offered by a sacrificer with a ladle. May Ashwins save a man meditating on them from the darkness of ignorance in which he has been languishing for a long time. Dirghatamasa 110.25. This is the last trick in this suktam. Pravam Damsam. O Ashwins, I have described your noble actions in this sutta. By this I may become the master of this house, good cattle, good progeny, etc. Seeing reality, may I enjoy a long life. Let me enjoy the bliss of emancipation, like a sannyasi, casting off my attachment to the body, which is like a home to Ashwins. This is one of the most difficult suktas in Rigveda, since almost all the ruks in the sukta are couched in the mystic language of the Vedic sages. We go to Suktam 117, which is another Ashwina Sukta from the same Rishi in Tritup Chanda. Madhva Somasya Ashwina 117.1. O absolutely truthful Ashwins, a scholar of ancient Vedic lore and giver of sacrificial oblations, serves you with food and sweet Soma essence for your delight. May you come here and accept these offerings, which augment physical faculties and which are given by a learned man in auspicious words. This is an invitation to Ashwins to come quickly and listen to this sukta, which is being offered to them by its seer. 117.2. Yovam Ashwina Manaso. O leaders of men Ashwins, you come to our home by your vehicle, which is well constructed, is pulled by good horses or spiritual light race, which is swift as mind, which appears before men, and with which you go to the dwellings of virtuous men. In the Adhyatmic sense, this vehicle is a drop of Atmiya Pavamana Soma, carrying a quantum of spiritual energy. With this, Ashwins go to truth seekers. Rishim Naravam Hasa. 117.3. O leaders of men, showerers of happiness, Ashwins, urging people to acquire knowledge and destroying the illusions of devices of malignant wicked men together with their attendants. You liberate an ascetic who is free from miseries and is follower of eternal Vedic principles and who has attained yogic powers, from ignorance covering knowledge and from all sins. Ashwin's Paramatma Jivatma twin reveals self-knowledge to a saintly scholar who meditates on them, showing the unreality or illusion of this manifested universe. Wicked men are enemies of or evil thoughts in one's ignorant mind. Perception of duality and diversity is due to ignorance of truth. 117.4. Ashwamna Ulham Ashwina. O leaders of men, showerers of happiness Ashwins, you protect a praiser, an admirer of sciences, an ascetic well versed in and devoted to the study of Vedas, and knower of all dealings, and who is troubled by ignorant, stupid fellows, like a horse troubled by cruel men. Such earlier acts of yours never fade away. Stupid fellows are those who are not willing to accept reality, which is oneness. Sushupvam Samma 117.5. O destroyers of enemies, miseries. Ashwins, for getting getting admiration from all, you put such things on the earth, like a man fearlessly sleeping in the lap of Mother Earth at night, like the bright sun, who is like a gold ornament used for adornment. Some of the activities attributed to Ashwins are mentioned here. In 117.6, Tatvamara Shamsyam, O absolutely truthful leaders of Manashwins, together with a noble, ever alert, learned teacher, you arrange hundreds of jars of water or essence from the sprinkler of a power plant, which is propelling a vehicle like a fast moving horse, for sprinkling for the benefit of all men. This act of yours is definitely laudable. The same idea was presented earlier in 1.116.7. Ivam Mera Stuvade 117.7. O leaders of men, Ashwins, you give a man well trained in agriculture to a king who is desirous of developing agriculture in his kingdom, who invokes you and who sits at the feet of elderly experienced teachers. Please arrange to give a suitable husband to a noble lady who attends to cows properly or who is crying in distress. These may not need much explanation. 117.8. Ivam Shyavaya. O showerers of knowledge and happiness, you give illuminating knowledge through the services of a great and famous teacher who speaks words of deep knowledge to a wise and learned praiser. You give the son of a leader that sublime knowledge of the Vedas, which is to be taught, and also of duties that are to be performed by him. 117.9. Guru Varpamsya Ashwina. O Ashwins, appearing in many forms, you give for fast movement a horse which is present on the earth, is invisible, is most powerful, is destroyer of enemies, is accomplisher of innumerable works, and which can take people across miseries. The horse stands for spiritual light energy, as can be seen from the qualities attributed to it. Hundred and 17.10. Edanivam Sravasya. O liberal givers, Ashwins, these aforementioned acts of yours are definitely praiseworthy. May you impart to us knowledge of Brahman, which is the base for manifestation of the space and the earth. You are the symbol of the Supreme Being whom all learned men invoke. Please come and give to all scholars food and knowledge of the Supreme Self. The Rig becomes self-explanatory by considering Ashwins to be Atma twin. 117.11. Sunor Manena Ashwina. O absolutely truthful protector of people, Ashwins, you give wealth and food to a man who is a good writer and who invokes you with auspicious hymns. To a mountain dweller growing with wisdom, you bestow that knowledge which protects all people. Sierra Sutta is asking Ashwins the source of self-knowledge. Obviously, that is birthless Brahman. This manifested universe is superimposition on the birthless Brahman. That one, staying within the heart space, protect all people. Mountain dweller may imply a person sitting on a mountain of ignorance. 117.12 Kuha Yanta Sushtutim, O ever moving, never falling down from space, showerers of happiness, protectors of sleeping person Ashwins, from where did you lift up theology of knowledge, which is like a hidden pot of gold on the 10th day? Ashwins inspire ignorant men to compose Vedic hymns. Ivam Chyavanam Ashwina. 117.13 O absolutely truthful Ashwins, with your powers you make an aging man who is active a youth again. Dawn, who is like a daughter to the sun, with all her luster, prefers to ascend your chariot or vehicle. Usha ascends the chariot of Ashwins to keep time for them. Ashwins decides the period of appearance in or of each material body of the universe. This may imply dawning of spiritual knowledge about drop of spiritual soma. Ivam Tugraya. 117.14 O ever youthful Ashwins, may you become delighted with knowledge acquired by our ancestors for increasing their strength. Invoked by us now, please obtain for us from the watery ocean many enjoyable and nourishing substances with the help of a fast vehicle, flying like a bird and fitted with power plants or quanta of spiritual light energy. These substances could be physical or spiritual. 117.15 Ajohavid Ashwina, showerers of happiness, Ashwins, in the way your strong, powerful and full-fledged army go across the oceans free from all worries, may you come to us in safety with your well-harnessed chariot, which is as fast as might. Paramatma Jivatma combine, move from one body to another with the speed of might, which may be indicative of the fact that Ashwins is just a mental concept. The chariot may mean Soma, flowing essence of Atma. 117.6 Ajohavidashvina Vartika, O Ashwins, when a besieged army invokes you, you save her from the mouth of the enemy forces like a quail from the mouth of a wolf. You go to the mountain peaks or top of the clouds in your triumphant chariot, and with your destructive power you destroy the strength of the enemy forces. The Rig may be interpreted in the physical sense or spiritually. 117.17 Shatam Meshan Vrikke, O Ashwins, you remove a person who should have been like a father to the people, but instead he ill-treats them like a cruel man. He kills hundreds of innocent sheep and cuts them to pieces to give these pieces to a steward. May you give sight to a possessor of quick, speedy horses, or light of knowledge to an ignorant man. Some of the activities mentioned here have already been explained in 116, the previous suktam. Speedy horses always implies rays of spiritual light which move with the speed of sound, with the speed of mind. 117.18 Shunamantaya, O showerers of happiness, leaders of men, Ashwins, like a female thief causes to call 101 sheep, or like a debauch calls a beautiful woman, you give to a spiritually blind man who is like a learned person and is possessor of good horses or well-controlled senses, words of wisdom and sustaining happiness. 117.19 Mahi Vam Udir Ashwina. Mahi Vam Udir Ashwina. O showerers of happiness, Ashwins, your great and powerful protective powers is a source of happiness to all of us. O wise Ashwins, may you destroy our miseries completely by these powers. Later, when we invoke you, like an intelligent man calling his faithful wife, please come to us with all your protective powers. Adhenum Dasra. 117.20 O accomplishers of wonderful deeds, Ashwins, with your might you sprinkle land with various articles, bringing happiness to men, at the same time leaving some parts barren. You caused to give a young girl, daughter of a friendly person, to a hard-working, industrious and cheerful man who sleeps soundly at night due to his exertions. 117.21 Ivam Vrigena Ashwina. O accomplishers of wonderful deeds, Ashwins, you rule over your vast kingdom by causing barley, etc., to be grown in well-plowed lands for a hard-working person. You bestow light of wisdom upon a righteous person by destroying the thieves and robbers within his mind, like the bright sun dispelling darkness by his light rays. (117.22) Atharvanaya Ashwina. O accomplishers of wonderful deeds, Ashwins, you give a brilliant head, intelligent brain, to an upholder of nature's laws, who is the son of a man of true wisdom and follower of Ruta. In return, true to his promise, he gave you the sweet knowledge which he received from great scholars. Sirada Sukta received self-knowledge from enlightened souls. He is attributing this knowledge to Ashwins or revealed by them. 117.23 So the Kavi Sumatima. Oh, absolutely truthful, wise Ashwins, I pray for your righteous intellect always. May you protect my intellect forever. Please grant us abundant and excellent wealth along with good progeny. 117.24 Hiranyahastamashvina. Oh, cheerful leaders of Manaswins, please grant me a son whose hands are full of knowledge or gold that makes people advanced in every field. Oh, generous donors, Ashwins, you make a man threefold educated physically, mentally, and spiritually for leading a long, useful life. Threefold knowledge means knowledge about the gross world, subtle world, and the causal world. Last ruk in this sukta and last ruk for the day, 117.25. Edani Vamashvina. Oh, showerers of happiness, Ashwins. These are your admirable deeds as proclaimed by our ancient forefathers. Becoming blessed with brave and educated children and grandchildren, may we speak out to people, making Vedic hymns for you and performing knowledge sacrifices. Three more Ashwin Suktas follow. This is the end for the day. Viramastavat.